Hi, and welcome to this week's Thrive in 5. This week we're going to talk about how to use emotional drivers. And emotional drivers are the things that you want to use when you're marketing, when you're selling, and ultimately when you're trying to influence people, because at the end of the day, people are actually driven by their emotions before their logic. And while logic comes into play in a whole lot of selling and marketing situations, emotions are what drive that immediate response. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the emotional drivers that happen. And there's really two sides to this. Anyone who is responding to your sales, your marketing, your attempt to influence them are really doing one of two things. They're either avoiding things or they're running towards things they want. And in most cases, I believe they're doing both. They're not just doing one or the other. So your marketing messages, your influence messages, your sales messages actually have to take into account the fact that this is in play. And so let me explain some of this. Let's start on this side first. One of the things that people want to do is avoid certain things from an emotional perspective. And for example, they want to avoid loss. They want to avoid loss of time, loss of money, loss of relationships. Those are really important. So if what you're offering doesn't help them avoid that loss, it might miss the mark. They're looking to avoid risk, and risk is a big thing. So they're looking to avoid the risk of worrying, the risk of embarrassment, the risk of loss. I mean, those are all things that factor into what's happening. So you have to understand risk. They want to avoid risk. They also want to avoid excess in terms of the excess of doubt, the excess of uncertainty. And also in terms of avoidance as an emotional driver, they want to avoid the unknown. And it's really important in your marketing or influence messages that you understand that people hate the unknown. They would prefer to stay with something bad that they know instead of going with something new that they don't know. Unknown is something that people avoid. So if you're going to talk about messages and emotional drivers, you can't be unknown very well unless you have some way to respond to that. Now, if that's the avoidance side and you understand how to use those emotional drivers to support that, you also want to use emotional drivers to pull them towards something. And so what people often want from an emotional perspective is to gain things. And this could be to gain money, to gain prestige, to gain power, to gain health, to gain popularity. There's a whole bunch of things that people are looking to gain. People want to do things, they or be things. They actually want to be creative. They want to be efficient. They want to be effective. They want to be influential. And so you have to understand what they want to be as it relates to what you're trying to communicate with them, what you're trying to offer them. And then they want to do things. And so they want to express their personality. They want to satisfy their curiosity. There's a whole bunch of things they want to do related to what it is that you're offering. Now, the reason we talk about this is because your message, whether it be a sales message, a marketing message, a way to influence somebody, your message has to be thought through from each of these perspectives. So as it relates to your offer, your message, is loss an issue with it? Is risk, is excess, is unknown an issue? You got to address those, but you also have to figure out what do your clients need? What do they want? What are they looking to accomplish? What are they looking to do? And by crafting your message, or more appropriately, your messages to actually respond to those things, you actually use the emotional drivers to your advantage. It's not that you can't have features and benefits. It's not that you can't have all those other things that are important in selling and marketing. But if you miss this stuff, you miss the opportunity to really get through to the thing that drives response and that drives reaction, and that is the emotions. I hope that helps. You've got some great knowledge now with this. Now go do something good with it. We'll talk to you next time.